Recording while the anxiety's acting up means a lot of brain fog and First thing, yes, this is still a thing. Remodeling's taking a while and all of that, so just bear with me. Hey yo, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. This week, I'm going to be talking about the balancing act between parenting and writing, because that's a thing that's easy. Do remember, folks, that these are all based on my experiences with my children, and I'm sharing them in hopes that they'll help somebody or someone can relate to them. As of the time this video is being made, my children are 5, 7, and 8. While my circumstances are certainly not rare, they are very uncommon, and therefore my experiences might not be able to apply to everybody. And that's fine. Take what you can and leave what you can't. There is a 37-month, that's 3 years and 1 month age gap between my oldest and my youngest, with one in the middle there. Which means that during my infant stages for my older two, I was pretty much tired all the time and barely had any energy to do anything for myself at all. While we did have kids faster than we expected to, we always planned on having multiple kids. So I don't really have a lot of advice for balancing infants and writing because, well, I just didn't. During my second pregnancy, I made the conscious decision to not pursue my writing career until my youngest was school-aged. I went on hiatus, basically. When our oldest was an infant, I tended to write when I was breastfeeding or when he was asleep. Now, I want a little bit of a disclaimer that I could do that because I've never needed a lot of sleep to function well, and I still don't really need a lot of sleep to function well unless I'm sick or having a flare-up. So it's not necessarily something I would advise for a lot of people. I find the body will tell us when we need sleep, and it is important to listen to the body. Another way to find time to write is to schedule it with somebody else while they watch the baby. Now, when Michael was an infant, I only had Chris, who was finishing up his college degree at the time. So he'd keep the baby when he could. But that meant that I didn't actually get a lot of writing done. However, between the time I found out I was pregnant and the time Michael turned 1, I did publish very, very poorly publish 2 novels. So, don't be like me. Don't rush it. Stories don't write themselves. But you know what? Babies also don't take care of themselves. And one of these has a time limit and more pressing needs for us parents. But that's okay. Now, I spoke on this in my Hard Truths for Writer Parents video, but I'll go ahead and summarize here too. Worry about the babies while they're babies and write when the time presents itself. One day, they're going to need us a lot less than we want them to, and there will be way too much time to write. Kids develop in stages and phases, and these do not have set-in-stone dates. It's so varied in my family that I don't even actually know the ages, but fear not, pediatricians will give us lots and lots of paperwork on that. The thing with having kids so close in age, though, is that when one finishes their teething, let a few months go by and then bam, the second one starts their teething. Or if, say, the older one's a late teether and the younger one's an early teether, then maybe their teething is going to overlap and you have 2 very cranky and clingy babies to deal with. And speaking of younger siblings, they can speed or skip some phases. So, for example, our older 2 kind of learned to walk around the same age, about 10 months old if I remember right. Our youngest though, no. That one learned to walk and run at 8 months because she was determined to hunt her brothers down. She just got tired of them going in a different room and leaving her there. This meant that during the toddler phase, I got even less writing done. Even when my sisters came over to help me with the kids, I normally took that time to do my deep cleaning housework or unpack things because we had bought a house in that time and we're moving in. Also during this time, my husband was working 12-hour shifts 7 days a week for months on end. He really wanted to take the kids so that I could get writing done, but the man was utterly exhausted. So usually I just got all of my writing done while all 4 of them were asleep. Or when Chris and I were spending time before bed. We'd watch a show, I'd write. A reminder that this was during my hiatus, which means that all of the writing I was doing was for short stories or for a character blog. That way I didn't get rusty at writing. I wasn't pursuing it as a career again yet. The kid stage. Let's speed through the years here real quick, shall we? The oldest one starts school. When I still have 2 toddlers at home to take care of, I'm still just practice writing. The middle one also goes to school. But now I have a toddler at home who has this insatiable need for independence and constant attention at the same time. And also her playmates have abandoned her to this place called school, which she now has a desperate need to go to and cries every morning I drop her brothers off because I'm taking her home. I'm the devil mom now. Plus, she has a late birthday, which means she is gonna be home even longer. But thankfully, our school system has a pre-K program, so got to get her into that. Which, while it started later than the elementary school and got out earlier than it was fine because for 5 hours I was home alone to do whatever I wanted. Just kidding. This was actually the time I got most of my housework done and any errands ran that I needed run, plus, grocery shopping. But it's fine, because without any children under feet for 5 hours a day, I actually finally got ahead of everything and was able to start thinking about pursuing writing again as a career. And I started researching how publishing had changed since I stopped pursuing it as a career, which would have been about 6 years at that point. I discovered there was a section of YouTube for writers. Specifically, I binged watched Jenna Marassi's channel, especially her marketing videos, because that's kinda what I needed to know more about. And she even had a Skillshare class all about author platform. I was like, haha, fuck yeah, I took that free trial. Essentially, I took my daughter's pre-K year to just figure out what I wanted to do with my platform and where I wanted to take my channel. I also got some videos in the bank and had some more scripts ready before I actually launched my channel. I also always pick my topics for the month ahead of time. Sometimes I can keep the pace up and it is phenomenal. I'll have all of my videos recorded by the first week, have them all edited before the video on the second week comes out, and then I have the rest of the month to write. I also host write-ins on Mondays, so I can write with everybody for a couple hours, regardless of how my week is going. My kids are all old enough and understand that sometimes mommy needs to focus on work and she can't play with them. And my husband never hesitates to take over kid bedtime or make dinner or just keep them out of my hair for a few hours while I finish up anything that I need to do. Other times, my migraine disorder flares up so bad that I essentially lose a week of my life, just like what happened at the beginning of September. There's also times when, well, life in general just needs to take priority over my platform. Also, like this month when me and my husband decided to just focus on finishing up our floor instead of me finishing the video for that week. Which, while I am sorry I got that to y'all late, I do not regret it because my bed is so nice. I missed it so much. But when that happens, I just have to bust my ass to get back on track, like I'm doing right now. I've gotten pretty good at it. I think the biggest piece of advice I want to give here is just that learning to balance parenting and anything is largely trial and error. Something that works for me isn't gonna work for everybody else, and something that works for other people isn't gonna work for me. Like writing during baby's nap time, I had 3 different babies and they did not all nap together. There was no such thing as nap time. But it works really well for several other moms I know. While I'm going to do a vlog completely dedicated to this in October, I just wanted to throw it in here that they're not going to traditional school this year. They're going to be virtually schooled at home. I'm very, very concerned for my solo house time. All right, everyone, that's all I got for you this week. How do you balance parenting and writing? Have any tips? Do you think any of these tips might work for you? Leave them in the comments down below, please. I'm hosting live streams on Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I always have a guest or two and we have a lot of fun. Every week I try to post a video on Wednesday. Occasionally they're on Friday too, but most of the time they're just on Wednesdays. If you liked this video, maybe give it a thumbs up, perhaps subscribe to the channel and ring-a-ding that bell. If you'd like to see a sample of my writing, I have one up on samanthaalnasset.com, or if you just like to stalk my social media, that's cool too, at Samantha L. Nasset on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and Facebook. Hope to see y'all Monday, maybe Wednesday, perhaps both. Sam out!